Interlagos, Brazil, the place where so many championships have been decided. And on Sunday, well, one started in the iRacing Pro Series. But tonight, there's only 2 meetings left in the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. And we're bringing all 4 races to you live here on Apex Racing TV. Good evening, everybody. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Sao Paulo. Adam, I'll bring you in first here because in 2015, we had one of the almighty incidents in iRacing history, I would think.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest, and we've seen some others further down the line. Just a few weeks ago in the Club Series, we had an almost identical incident there, and it is a circuit that provides such great racing, close packs, tightly bunched together, and it's going to play a crucial part in deciding the showdown for this year's BSRTC.
Alex Simpson, iRacing World Championship driver. You've raced here many times, mate, and I know that you quite enjoyed the circuit. Having said that, though, some people haven't been enjoying the showdown, even though all 12 drivers in the Pro Series and the AM and all the rest in the AM categories, even though they're all still in contention, some people have had some shockers, haven't they?
Yeah, they have indeed. It's remarkable actually to see that everybody's still, got a chance of winning this. Mathematically, it's still available. Pete Newman needs to have the race of his or the meeting of his life tonight to stay in it, I think. Richard not too far behind him. But yeah, I think it's been quite an exciting showdown. There's not been. I think the thing is this time there's not been too many sort of DNFs at the very, very front of the grid, so that order at the front hasn't changed around too much. But of course, there's still 3 race meetings to go, so anything could still happen. It's still pretty close, all the way down to, I would say, sort of maybe 6th place still in the hunt. 400 points that could shift very, very quickly, I would think.
Looking at what's happened, at least so far this season, there's definitely potential, Adam, for someone to still DNF and throw away their championship chances. And Wojciech Swiderowicz is hoping that he can claim his 2nd title. He's hoping it doesn't happen to him.
Yeah, and this is where it all started to fall apart for him this time last season. He got a penalty and a disqualification for an incident with Jamie Fluke in race 2. And it was after that where he got another penalty the following race meeting, and the wheels really fell off his championship wagon there. Doesn't want to do the same here tonight. He's already taken 21 race wins this season. We're trying to get race win number 22. But the pack aren't going to let him get away with it too easily. David Baker, 2nd in the championship. He's already quicker than Wojciech in qualifying at the moment. So Swiderowicz, even though he's got a 159-point lead in the championship, he can't afford to get too complacent in these final 8 races.
No, we can't, because Alex, this track Interlagos is one of the, even though it's quite short, it's quite difficult and a lot of fast corners. You really have to look after the tyres here. But what are the key aspects of this circuit in order for these drivers to make it through successfully tonight?
Yeah, I think, like you say, there's various different styles of corners through this circuit. We've got some high-speed corners, we've got some slow-speed stuff. So setup of the car is, of course, going to be critical. Couple of really long straights, so with the Kia, obviously great amount of draft in there as well, so expect some good moves down in turn 1, so hopefully they've been practicing their overtakes as well. It's going to be an interesting race, like you say. The hairpin corners in that midfield section as well are going to eat the tyres up a little bit, and so time management could come into play as well towards the last few laps. Certainly in the morning and the afternoon race, it's going to be absolutely fine. I think the tyres will hold up no problem. But the two in the afternoon, yeah, they're going to be struggling, I think.
Yeah, as the track gets hotter, of course, the tyres take more punishment, and of course the track, we will see a lot of marbles around. Adam, could affect overtaking in the later rounds.
Yeah, we start the evening off with the track relatively clean, and then over the next 4 races, the marbles will slowly build up. And moves will get a bit more risky in the 4th and final race of the evening, especially going into the Senna S, where the majority of the cars will be on the right-hand side of the track going into that first complex of corners. So drivers have to be careful that they get their braking right, otherwise they could be skating off into that runoff area at the end of the straight.
Yeah, and qualifying's looking very good. Alex, at the moment for David Baker, but Adam, if you could take us through the championship standings as they're up on your screen right now.
Okay, so going into the penultimate race meeting of the season, we have got 874 points still on offer, and all 12 showdown contenders still in with a shout at the championship. Wojciech Swiatovich leads David Baker by 159 points. Dan Kraft is a good 50 or so behind. George Simmons is in 4th, Alex Smolenski in 5th. 4 points behind him is Jamie Fluke, then Jamie Rushworth, 404 points behind. Is it too early to rule him out of a second BSRTC title? Stalin Chapalevsky, 4 points behind him. He's still chasing his first. Michael Schalbach, his Valatech teammate, is in 9th. Michael Hall in 10th, 11th Richard Gore, and Pete Newman, who Alex was saying needs to really have the race meeting of his life to try and stay in the showdown. Over in the Pro-Am standings, Matt Bunn leads Roy Ververke by 108 points. Paul Smith is 117 back, and then in third in the showdown it's Andrew Whitehead, with Nick McCarron 5th and Jay Wright in 6th. And in the teams championship, Racer with CQR leads Sim Racer by 144 points. As far as teams points go, that is pretty close. Alphalatech are in third, 449 points behind the leaders, and Apex Racing 565 points behind. Engine All Direct lead Boosted Motorsports in the Pro-Am teams, but only by 73 points. You've got a feeling that championship will also go down to the wire, with CQR Academy 334 points behind Engine All Direct.
Sure, it will. And, of course, Alex, looking at the standings, I think that probably everybody above Stalin Chepalevsky is still within a realistic, semi-realistic shot maybe for the for everyone George Simmons on down. Gonna need DNFs, isn't it, from the front runners for them to have any chance?
I think so. I think if definitely Wojciech's to lose at the minute. If Woj doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't get any DNFs, then his consistency so good, that he he's in a really strong position at this point. Baker's there. He can keep chipping away at that lead, but it's still going to be very difficult. It really does need one DNF to change that. But as soon as that happens, it's completely open. It could go down to just sort of a few different drivers there, and if both get a couple of DNFs, well, then really opens up the championship again. And as we've seen, that can happen so easily.
Yeah, just before the drivers make their way to the grid, a quick plug for you. This Saturday at 1:30 p.m. GMT, it's round 2 of the iRacing Road Pro Series from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Join myself, Adam, and Alex for that one. And tell you what, we had a good race, Adam, here to kick off that particular series.
Yeah, it was good to watch, wasn't it? Our first time covering the Road Pro Series, and yeah, next week we head to Montreal, or this Saturday we head to Montreal. Tight Street Circuit should be great to watch, and yeah, Saturday around about lunchtime, join us for that.
Right, and if you could, my friend, with Dave Baker on pole, it's time to take us through the starting grid.
Okay, so we've got about a minute and 20 seconds for lights out. Let's run you through the grid. David Baker on pole position, with Wojciech Swiatovich just a tenth a second or so behind. Pete Harrod and Diogo Melro, 2 Club Series champions, they fill out the second row of the grid. Jamie Rushworth in 5th, 7th in the championship. He wants to get back in the fight. Rusty Laidler in 6th, Ash Sutton in 7th, Alex Smolenski 8th, with George Simmons 9th, and Matt Bunn rounding out the top 10. Michael Hall is in 11th place, with CQR Academy driver Paul Smith in 12th, Michael Schalbach in 13th, Dan Kraft in 14th, Craig Evans 15th, 16th Steve Hevered, Pete Newman in 17th, with Colin Cunniff 18th, Rob Graham 19th, and Mark Woodhouse in 20th. Max Wright 21st, 22nd John Roberts, Dan Blake in 23rd, Nick McCarron 24th, Stuart Atkinson 25th, Philip Lidicote in 26th, BSRTC debut for him. Steny Chepalevsky not setting a time in qualifying, neither does Jamie Fluke, so 2 championship contenders already on the back foot going into this first race of the evening. 29th is Andreas Katz, Ross Balfour 30th, Ben Hackerson 31st, Richard Gore 11th in the championship 32nd, Roy Ververke 33rd, Kip Stevens 34th, Nathan Davis 35th, 36th Michael Blake, Andrew Whitehead 37th, and Lee Berridge in 38th.
Look at all those penalties at the back. Oh dear. Baptism of 5 for Philip Lidicote, 26. See if he can survive. It's all about getting to the end here at Interlagos. 4 races tonight.
Green, green, green.
Starting now. A good getaway by Wojciech Swiatovich, but Baker covers him off. And I think everybody's got away okay. But it's through the centre S's and even more importantly the Curve de Sol, where we're going to really see if everybody can behave themselves. David Baker got a great start. He leads. Second, Wojciech Swidovic. Pete Harrod third. And then it's Diogo Melro and Jamie Rushworth side by side down the back straight. Let's see if there's anything like there was in 2015. I hope not. They are 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Jamie Fluke, Ross Balfour and Nick McCarron momentarily. But all the cars have made it round. Richard Gore coming out of the pits, Nathan Davis, Andrew Whitehead, Lee Berridge at the back with pit lane starts. And out is Philip Lidicote already. And I don't really know what happened to him. Oh, it was a crash. Through the curve of the Sol into... Oh, he hit the Boosted Motorsports car into the inside wall. And that's his BSR TC debut. Adam, lasting about 3 corners.
Yeah, a few seconds for him, and didn't start
Here comes
started in the midfield.
Whoa!
That was where he hit Jamie Fluke last season, and that really set his championship downhill. And yeah, he was trying to get past David Baker, close up under braking. Pete Harrod already giving the sim racer car a lot to worry about.
Obviously got a lot of pace on the first lap, Wojciech Swidovic, and now he's got the slipstream down one of the longest flat-out sections in this championship. Over the starting grid, Baker's defending, he's moving to the left-hand side. Harrod having a look, Swidovic having a look. Swidovic is trying to go around the outside line on Baker, and he might make this work here if he can. Just squirt the car out of this second corner. Oh, almost some contact there through the second part of the centre S's. Through curve of the Sol then, it's Baker, Swidovic, Harrod. Harrod's on the warpath here. The former Club Series champion 2 times.
The dust that's getting kicked up there with Baker on the inside. Swidovic might try around the outside into Decido Delago, but Harrod's up the inside there. Oh, and so close to contact.
Yeah, Rushworth almost making contact with Harrod. Harrod's on the inside of Swidovic now. Baker's got to defend hard here from the Polish driver who resides in Dublin, Ireland. Oh, Harrod round the outside in Ferradura. If he can pull this off, this could be one of the most fantastic moves I've ever seen in a touring car. And he does get past Wojciech Swidovic, but not David Baker. Swidovic trying to go around the outside and the left-hand hairpin, and then into Bico Di Pato.
Oh,
Harrod
Melrose,
again,
straight into the back of Harrod. Look at the damage the CQR Academy car has. Oh, he nearly hit Sutton, his CQR fellow driver.
Is he badly damaged, Harrod?
I think it's just rear damage, but he did get a severe whack, and Melrose not giving up. He's looking back up the inside of the 2-time Club Series champion going into Junkau.
And he's passed Laidler into Junkau as well. Alex has a frenetic start, especially in the front of the field.
Yeah, what a fantastic race. Just sat here watching it more than anything at the moment, just seeing what's going to happen. Just absolutely epic. These two still continuing to battle. That's Laidler, I think, and Simmons in the background as well, side by side, going into the Senna S. Simmons up the inside. Really shocked me to see Simmons right there in 4th place. Been like silent assassin, I think, this season, and yeah, doing extremely well, and some really strong results, and could be in a top 3 position here at the end of the year.
Yeah, and Rusty Laidler was on the grass down the main straight, but he's managed to survive that, and Baker coming under more pressure.
Ooh. Balls in wide, and Swidovic might have it here. He has the inside line for Ferradura. Rushworth will try. Baker will give it as good as he's got, and moves across. Dear me, that was nearly Sutil and Shrully.
Tell you what. Now racing with CQR, hunting in a pack against the championship leader, Wojciech Swidovic. Down the inside goes Ashley Sutton then on David Baker. So he now moves into 2nd place, and he's going to be maybe the spear. The point of the Race Hub spear, Adam, because they have to now try and hunt Wojciech Swidovic like a caveman hunting for food.
Yeah, Race Hub with CQR going into ultra attacking mode here, and they've got their best man for the job here, Sutton and Swidovic. They've been battling for many seasons now in the BSR TC, stretching all the way back to season 6 and possibly even further than that. And they know how to race each other, and Swidovic will see that familiar car in the mirrors, and he's going to have to hold him back now for 7 laps.
There's a good battle going on further back, guys, as well. We just saw Sheltback just get into Hall, I think it was. It could have been Matt Bunn, but anyway, those 3 having a great little battle. So just coming through the sort of penultimate corner really there, and just got into each other a little bit, but yeah, this is a great
And again, bang. Oh, and Hall's been turned round by Matt Bunn. So that's the leader of the AM category getting involved with Michael Hall. And here comes the 30 car, that's Craig McLeod-Evans. We've not seen him for a few weeks.
Matt Bunn hasn't got the most comfortable Pro-Am lead as Evans throws it up the inside into Interlagos. Michael Hall really holding these two up.
I tell you, nothing's comfortable out there at Interlagos, not in the BSRTC, it isn't anyway. Oh, and through comes that Robert Graham having a lunge, and that's turned into, he's whacked into Steve Hefford. And through there goes Pete Newman, Steve Hefford, who's effectively announced his retirement from the BSRTC after this race meeting. He's been a veteran of the series, Adam, over 200 races for him.
Oh, Savinovich and Sutton, they're changing positions. And here comes Sutton up the inside into Junkow. The racer with CQR car throws it up the inside, rubs him, Savinovich forced out wide. And that is Sutton through into the lead, and Baker has a great shot at taking second.
Baker needs to make this move now, you feel. Sutton at the front. I wonder if Sutton's going to try and back Wojciech Savinovich into the other cars, the other race over CQR cars. Oh dear, Freudian slip there.
Oh no!
Oh! There's a bit of contact, and now Savinovich, is he going to give it back to Ashley Sutton? Alex, what a tight tense race at the front.
Yeah, fantastic. Of course, Sutton's got nothing to lose out there right now, so he can rub and bub, fenders all night long. Wojciech, of course, has to be very, very careful. We were talking about one DNF. Baker there as well. He won't want to get caught up in it if there is an accident between those two. So he's looking, thinking, what do I do? Do I go aggressive? Do I not? Do I sit there and wait and see how this is gonna pan off? But of course, he's got his teammate for a little bit of cover behind. Pete Harrod, though, starting to put a little bit of pressure back on Rushworth. So this front pack just can't break away. This is a great race.
Well, we've just had a comedy of errors in the CQR Academy team. Paul Smith missing his braking point going into the centre rest and taking out his fellow competitor in the Pro-Am Championship, Matt Bunn.
It's not over as well. Colin Cunniff's been off. So I think someone's been into him. Let's see what happened to...
I can get a little replay of that up.
See what happened to Smith as well. Where was that, Adam?
Going into the centre rest at the start of the last lap.
Somebody else has come a cropper as well. Let's have a little look.
Colin Cunniff was in the mix with those two. I don't know if he picked up some damage.
Here we go then. So just
I think Smith might have got a tap, Adam.
Coming down, yeah. So Smith, have a look. He was quite a way clear. Going up around the outside of someone. So a little bit of contact. Yeah, there is just a little bit of contact. Turned in, just sort of hit the quarter panel, and like you say, just come and hit his teammate there as well. So not great. Can happen, and that's well, like you say, very important for the CQR Academy team.
They are first and third. Roy Viverki will be having heart palpitations at the back of the field because he's going to be the one who's going to benefit from them the most if they were to take each other completely out of the running. Matt Bunn's down to 25th place now, just ahead of Dan Blake and behind Mark Woodhouse, who's got some damage on the front of his car. But I know what's going on there with Woodhouse and John Roberts. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not sure either as well.
Oh, Woodhouse hits Roberts. Who gets hit by Cunniff, who's in the walls again.
Yeah, Woodhouse very slow there.
I've heard that one before.
Oh, it's very close at the front again. Look at this.
Around the outside going into Junkow. That's a bit of unconventional manoeuvring there. Baker up the inside, and he might have it here. Sutton will have the boxed in here.
Sutton's going to act as that, almost a snowplow, just burrowing his way through and trying to lead the way for David Baker.
No!
Oh no, massive one! That's a huge crash, and that's the two championship contenders, the two main championship contenders, Wojciech Savinovich and David Baker. Surely now, if they're not out, then they're severely damaged. And that could affect the entire race meeting. They've come together, they've smashed into the outside wall, and that there could be decisive for both men, Adam.
Well, it's happened at the worst possible point as well, because if they've just missed the pit lane, and they're going to have to do a full lap now with well, what looks like two very severely damaged cars.
I'll be honest, I was just looking elsewhere, didn't even see that go on. So, Alex, I don't know if you have that for us.
Yeah, we were watching it live, and yeah, they were just. It's just a case of, they were just too close together, got sucked in together, and you know how this car can react sometimes, and it's exactly what happened.
Baker's
Wojciech
gonna
needed
retire,
to try
I
and
think.
get some side draft. It was the only way he was going to stay alongside and play that, be able to defend. But I wouldn't say it was any driver's fault out there. It was just, they were just too close to each other. And that's what happened, and Baker looks like he might... Is he just running? No, he's just out of the way. I would assume that Dave's got a meatball, so he's...
Davidovic is also very, very slow. I don't think his car's quite as bad as Baker's, but it's bad enough. I wonder if those guys are just going to try and get to the finish.
They will want to try and stay...
You get 3 laps, am I right, Alex?
Yeah,
and then,
you do get 3 laps. So
I wonder if they may try... the only way to do it, really, is to lose a lap, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the... I was about to say, what's the ruling on as regards points? If you finish 1 lap?
1 lap down, you still get points. 2 laps, you get 0. So, and also, if you finish 1 lap down, you're still in contention for a full reverse grid. So they'll be desperate to stay at least 1 lap down.
Well, I think we'll leave them to it. Let's go
do
and see where some other action is right now. But yeah, major. What did we say? Just 5 minutes before that as well. Anything can happen at any time, and well, there you go. The 2 leaders. All of a sudden, this championship blows wide open.
And put it this way, we love big moments here on Apex Racing TV, and that, my friends, was a moment. 2 championship contenders in a year-long series colliding at the penultimate race meeting. You couldn't make it up. Well, in fact, you could, Adam, because last year's finale at Daytona, it was almost... if you'd have scripted that and put that in a film, people would have said you were crazy.
Yeah, something out of Hollywood, wasn't it? Last season's BSRTC finale. And yeah, we'll be bringing back plenty of memories of that during the build-up to our final race meeting next week at Daytona. The order now looks like this. Jamie Rushworth's now in 2nd place, so he's replaced David Baker in the 2nd of the Raceable CQR cars. Diogo Melrose now in 3rd, with Pete Harrod back up into 4th place, so those two might renew their sparring duel from earlier on. Rusty Labour's in 5th, Simmons is in 6th, Michael Scharbach 7th, 8th Michael Hall, 9th Alex Smolensky, and Dan Kraft's in 10th.
And now the man who really needs to take advantage is Daniel Kraft, because he's 210 points behind. If for whatever reason Baker can't make it to the end, if Suridovic cannot make it to the end, then Daniel Kraft can take a huge chunk out of the points lead here, and he's going through an Alexander Smolensky, who's another man who's just barely in contention, but he's been handed a huge lifeline here by the demise of Baker and Suridovic. And we'll see, it's really these two. Effectively, that's in fact Simmons is in 6th, isn't he, as well? So
Sorry, Andrew,
really
Matt Bunn around in
opportunity.
the centre S as well, into the Armco, and his car looks pretty damaged as well. So that's the championship
massive.
leader as well.
Oh,
this is
dear.
massive for Matt Bunn. He's had an awful meeting so far, and it's just a small quarter panel, I believe. The AM Championship leader into the wall after already being hit by one of his competitors. This is not what Matt Bunn would have wanted whatsoever. And the fact that he's been so strong, Adam, these last few weeks, he really was coming into his own. He was leading by 108 points. I don't think it's going to be that now.
No, he's down to 30th place. Roy Furcase through. Suridovic has got more issues. I don't know whether I don't think he's had another collision. I think he's just having problems turning the car left. And
now
he's now down
going
in
to overtake.
36th.
Oh, and he's past Baker now.
Yeah, those two just are trying to make it to the finish, I think. But
Well, that actually is important, really, because
Every point counts.
It does
Even way
indeed.
down there.
Well, Alex, last season's championship decided by 2 points. You know, what can you say?
Here we go then, final lap. All of a sudden, Ash Sutton way out front in lead.
Oliver Sutton.
Pete Harrod's trying to take the final spot on the podium away from Diogo Melrose. Pete Harrod has got severe damage to the rear of the car, but I don't think it's affecting the Kia Optima too much. And he's in the slipstream going down the Retro Aposta. We'll see if we can get a move done in Interlagos on this final lap of the race.
Yeah, and you have to say that Pete Harrod has he's been excellent in the last few meetings that he's contested in this series. Really is looking like a top driver once again.
Kapalevsky trying to move his way
champion.
forward on the final lap as well.
Yeah, and he...
Trying to switch back, that would be for 20th place on Dan Blake if he can get that, but obviously recovering from the penalty start that he had.
He's probably the last man with any sort of chance of the title, Alex. 408 points behind. Although everyone is going to make points up on those two. However, it is so important that Baker and Saridovic actually make it to the finish. Saridovic in the pits.
I think he'll finish a lap down.
I don't know.
He'll still
He's
be a
only
lap
on...
down. Yeah, he'll be fine.
Could be 2.
He'll get lapped when Sutton comes across the line, I think.
He will.
So he'll still be classified, but it looks like it's going to be a race of a CQR 1-2. Maybe not the drivers they wanted, but it's going to be Sutton and Rushworth to come through.
Well, it's exactly what Jamie Rushworth needed. And Ashley Sutton, as usual, spectacularly comes across the finish line. And a spectacular performance from him. But I think we have to really just contemplate what exactly happened out there. Look at this lot coming over the line though, first 25th, 26th, 27th, and in a bit of a slipstream train. Not really close, although this is close, between Davies, Whitehead and Bunn. Davies is going to get that, I think. Oh,
Gore will get Bunn as well.
Sorry, yeah. So more points for Richard Gore, who mathematically is still in it, but realistically not so much.
And more points dropped in that final run to the line for Matt Bunn. Roy Ververke finishing in 29th place, Matt Bunn finishing in 32nd.
You know, it's funny, having said all that, Adam, after the terrible race that Bunn actually had, he was only 3 points behind Ververke, 3 places, behind Ververke. Smith was 14th, so that's quite a chunk, but not really anything massive eating into that lead there. Vidovic, you're right, 1 lap down. I was panicking a little bit there for him.
Yeah, and David Baker's the last car across the line in 35th place. So if we get a fall, they will be back on the front row again. Except this time it will be Savidovic ahead of Baker.
Well, Alex, if that was intended between the two of them, then that might be pretty well done if we get a fall.
We'll see what we can do with the wheel. It'll be an interesting race. Bang them back on the front and have them go at it again, that's for sure.
We're running through the finishing order then from a very controversial and very intriguing first race of the evening. Ash Sutton takes the win. Jamie Rushworth second, making it a race with a CQR 1-2. Diego Melro finishing in third with Pete Harrod in fourth. Rusty Laidler in fifth. George Simmons in sixth. Michael Shellback had a good race, up six positions to seventh place. Michael Hall in eighth, Alex Smolensky in ninth, and Dan Kraft in 10th place. Jamie Fluke keeping his championship hopes alive, up 17 positions from his starting grid of 28th to 11th. 12th for Steve Hefford. Ross Balfour 30th to 13th. Driver of the race, I think for him, 17 positions, the same as Jamie Fluke. Paul Smith in 14th place, getting some positions back on points back on Matt Bunn. Andreas Katz in 15th after starting in 29th. 16th for Pete Newman, 17th Colin Cunniff, 18th Ben Hackerson, 19th Rob Graham, and 20th for Dan Blake. Incidentally, I think Rob Graham is the only driver in the whole field to stay in the same position he started. Dan Blake in 20th, Steny Chapelewski in 21st, Max Wright 22nd, John Roberts 23rd, Kip Stevens finishing in 24th after starting from the pit lane. Nick McCarron in 25th, Stuart Atkinson in 26th, Mark Woodhouse in 27th, Michael Blake 28th, 29th for Roy Ververke, and then 30th for Nathan Davis, Richard Gore 31st, Pro-Am leader Matt Bunn finishing in 32nd, Andrew Whitehead 33rd, Lee Berridge 34th, and then there they are, 35th and 36th, David Baker, and championship leader Wojciech Savidovic 1 lap down. Craig Evans 6 laps down, and Philip Lidico also 6 laps down. They had issues earlier on and limped home 6 laps down in the end.
All right, well, tell you what a race that was. We also have to remember, and for everybody at home, they have to remember this as well, is that penalties could arise from some of these incidents. You know, we have seen them before affect the standings. And Alex, you know, if any driver gets disqualified, for instance, due to incidents or penalties, then that could be a massive swing as well.
Yeah, big time. So I'm sure the drivers will be both worried about that. Maybe they'll talk off, after the race and see if either one's gonna put a protest in, or maybe they both will, just so that it guarantees it gets looked at from absolutely both sides. I don't know. It's a tough one there. When you've got that championship on the line, you've got to, you might not want to, but sometimes you have to do these things. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very difficult decision. Adam, there was no decision made about who's going to be on pole position. It's going to be down to our spinning wheel. So if you could take us through who's up for that in those different segments.
If this first reverse grid of the evening will throw another swing to the pendulum in this crazy championship. The drivers are as follows. They're eligible for the reverse grid: Pete Newman, Colin Cunniff, Ben Hackison, Rob Graham, Dan Blake, Stelian Chepalewski, Max Wright, John Roberts, Kip Stevens, Nick McCarron, Stuart Atkinson. I apologise, Stuart, you're not included. Sorry, it's 16 to 25, isn't it? And yeah, we have a fault. It will be Wojciech Savinovic that will get reversed onto pole position. So, Alex, let's get the wheel spun, and we're going to find out who's on pole position for round 128. 9.
9. Oh.
So close.
Well, the death threats are already coming in if it's a full grid, so let's see what it turns out.
Death threats.
Where's me button to stop it? Oh, if only
Stop
I
the
actually had
death
one.
threats or the wheel.
Where's the Richard Gore button? There we go, that's going to be okay. Right, here we go then.
Tell you what, it's going to be a nightmare scenario if we get a 16
Oh
for
my God.
Savinovic and Baker. Is it a full?
Come on, take over! Oh. Not good, is it?
It's a
Shouldn't have said
full.
anything, Stellion. Shouldn't have said anything.
Well, there you go, folks. Savinovic is on pole for race 2. David Baker starts alongside him on the front row. Lee Berridge will be in 3rd. Andrew Whitehead in 4th. And another very happy championship contender, Matt Bunn, will be starting in 5th.
Well, I tell you what, you couldn't make it up, could you? And you really, really couldn't. 2 championship contenders take each other out, and then, well, they get reversed onto the front row. So God knows what's going to happen in race 2. But you'd be an idiot to not stay with us and find out. So, join us back here for the last 3 races of the evening here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live, where Wojciech Savinovic and David Baker will be on the front row. This will be amazing.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for round 129 of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship from Interlagos, Brazil. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson with you. Adam Bath will be along in a minute, we hope. Just having a couple of technical issues, I think. Alex, first race was, we had everything really, didn't it?
Loved that first race, you know. Yes, please, guys. Another one of those would be great. Of course, we've got the front two back at the front again, so that's going to be exciting. See what happens in that one. So, do apologise to everyone who did not want that reverse grid to happen.
Hashtag controversy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just looking at who's still in contention for this showdown, and we were speaking off air. Poor old Pete Newman, first person to be relegated out of the showdown. Now, mathematically impossible for him to make it in. So, poor old Pete, 781 points.
Well, for him to win.
Well, yeah, 781 points, 765 available. So, of course, he can still move up in the table. So, he won't want to finish 12th again, will he?
No, I believe he was 12th last year. I'd have to get some clarification on that. I'm sure Adam will know when he gets back in. But Richard Gore, 600 points, only 165 to play with now. So, it's going to be very, very close. Who else is on the bubble? Really, nobody in particular, because Jay Wright is the closest in the AM category to being bumped out of contention, and he's 428 behind Matt Bunn. So after Bunn's misfortune, that actually closed up a little bit. Smith's now within 100 points, for Verke at 101, Whitehead 210, McCarran 251. So yeah, I mean that one has come a lot closer together. Svinovic, his lead is 156 points. So he did beat Baker again, Alex. It did help everybody else, but also one thing it actually did was extend his championship lead.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually, when you think about it. You know, it gets wiped out like that. I think it's the main thing is it's the masses that have caught back up. Now, Dancraft are very much in it, only 187 points behind, so that could quite easily swing around again. So,
but that's wrong anyway, isn't it? Sorry, what I said was wrong anyway, because he finished behind him, didn't he? He got lapped. Svinovic. So Baker gained literally a couple of points, and that was
it. Yeah.
Sorry, mate, that was all he did. Yeah.
Well, no, Adam. So I guess it's over to you, just to give us a quick rundown of the grid order.
Oh, okay. Svinovic and Baker on the front row ahead of Lee Berridge and Andrew Whitehead. Matt Bunn in 5th, Richard Gore 6th, 7th Nathan Davis, 8th Roy Verke, 9th Michael Blake, 10th Mark Woodhouse, 11th Stuart Atkinson, 12th Nick McCarran, Kip Stevens in 13th, John Roberts 14th, 15th Max Wright, 16th Thor Cheplewski, 17th Blake, 18th Graham, 19th Hackerson, 20th Cunniff, 21st Newman, he's out, Andreas Katz 22nd, Paul Smith 23rd, 24th Ross Balfour, 25th Steve Hefford, 26th Jamie Fluke, 27th Dan Kraft, 28th Alex Smolensky, 29th Michael Hall, Michael Shelbach in 30th, Simmons in 31st, Laidler in 32nd, Harrod 33rd, 34th Diogo Melro, 35th Jamie Rushworth, 36th Ashley Sutton, 37th Craig McLeod-Evans, and 38th Philip Lidico. Alex, I'm going to give this one to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, here we go then. Second race of the night. A little bit hotter out there. We won't see him slipping and sliding into turn one. Who's going to get this jump? Will it be Baker? Will it be Wojciech?
Green.
Yeah. There's a lot of determination between those two drivers after the final race. The lights are out. We are underway here at Interlagos. Very, very good start from Wod, straight into turn one. No problems. Baker just tucks in second place. He's got a little bit of company behind him at the moment, but everyone else looking like they're filtering through very, very nicely indeed.
It was 3 wide between Atkinson, Woodhouse and Blake as well, just behind them. So that's for about 6th, 7th and 8th places. But it was very important for Dave Baker to get into second place to be able to follow Svinovic, because this is a good opportunity. We know Lee Berridge has been a lot stronger this season than previously. We know Andrew Whitehead can win races, and Matt Bunn as well. But it's really these two, Alex, who you'd expect now to pull away from this pack.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, no disrespect to the guys behind, but I think these two are going to battle it out. If they start to fight as well, as Bunn has a little look. Bunn's quick though. If Bunn can get by Berridge quickly, he might have an opportunity. He runs a little bit wide through there. Richard Gore now got a run alongside him. Surely Richard having a look. We're going to have to go around the outside to complete it. And Richard gives a little bit too much room, and can't complete that pass. That's something that I know Richard's been talking about sort of in the paddock behind the scenes that he needs to get his elbows out a little bit more, get closer to people. So something he's going to try and push on for her next season.
Look at the run.
He gets a great run out of the final corner.
But now the shocking young cow that time, and Richard Gore decides to take advantage very, very quickly. He's going to get a bit of slipstream from Berridge, but Bunn's not giving up, and we know Matt Bunn's late on the brakes. Alex, we'll see what he can do in the centre S. But look, here comes David Baker for the lead of the race into the centre S's. Through he goes, clean move.
Yeah, great overtake there, straight forward, and the battle continues behind.
Goes through. Gore makes it stick. Now he's going to rely, a bit wide off Curve of the Soul, but he's going to have to rely on the slipstream from Berridge to keep him ahead of Matt Bunn. Gore has to go defensive, and sometimes we see it's not really a bad thing to go defensive at turn 4, Alex, is it? Because of the way that the corner just sort of narrows on the exit.
Yeah, I think if you've got your nose ahead, you can always run out, track out a little bit there, and the drivers on the outside know that they've got to give you a little bit of room, and we'll sort of run out wide because you can. So, and that's exactly what happened there, as once again he has a little look up the inside. That's a little cheeky little move there, and gets alongside Berridge. Berridge not completely ready for that. A little bit tighter, needs to squeeze. Lee, if he's going to get this move done, gets a great drive off the corner, and Matt Bunn follows him around as well.
Yeah, lovely driving from Gore and from Bunn. Gore, one of the leading amateurs last season, and Bunn, the leading amateur at the moment in 2016. Far from amateurs, really, Alex, at this point. It's just a classification. It's not really a description, is it?
No, exactly. And you're right there. There's there almost should be three categories out there now.
We're joined again, hopefully, by Adam Bath. Adam?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Are you in the race?
Just getting in the session now.
All right, so Matt Bunn on the inside of Gore, and Bunn's through into 3rd place now, so he's taken Richard Gore. Lee Berridge is still in 5th. Stelian Cheplevsky's in 6th. We mentioned Alex Reilly, though, even finishing 3rd wouldn't really do Richard Gore that much good. I know he's not realistically in the hunt, but you want to keep contention as much as possible, because as we saw in race 1, anything can happen.
No, was Berridge having a little look from behind. I think that was more of a defensive move from Stelian Cheplevsky. But yeah, you're right, with the points, with the drivers that are in front of him right now, those are there's 2 drivers there that he doesn't need to be there.
Oh, so, here comes Woodhouse up the inside of Blake into Ferradura.
Yeah, Michael Blake leaving enough room there to do that. He will, if he can hold it around the outside, get the inside for the next corner, which he does. Going to tighten up through here.
Side-by-side action. Can Woodhouse do what Richard Gore did to Lee Berridge? Got a good run out of there now. You've got to be late on the brakes here into Pinnery, into Pico de Pato. Oh, and here comes the 33. Who's that? Ben Hackison.
Yeah, Hackison having a look.
He's won races in both the Pro Series and the Club Series, Ben Hackison. Here comes Woodhouse. He's going through. Oh, he's going wide as well. Oh, no. And here comes Hackison.
Yeah, I guess a shocking run. Hackison.
Oh,
he
no.
thought about 3 wide. He's going to have to push him, I think. It's going to be his only opportunity to get the move complete.
2x2 down the straight.
Here comes Newman. Adam, take it away, my friend.
Oh no, nearly 4 wide, and he had to think about it there going into the centre S. Who's going to come out on top? The boosted car's on the inside. Hackison there trying to get the inside, and here's that Simpson racing car on the inside. Newman,
very clever, very clever move by Newman. He just followed Hackison through, and he passed Woodhouse, but Woodhouse might still get back on Blake. Just behind them is Stuart Atkinson. And it's good to see him getting involved in the action near the front of the field.
That was a move of the season there, I tell you, because that wasn't just Woodhouse that Newman got there. He got Blake at the same time as well. Really, he was at the back of that pack of 4. So 2 in 1. Great move. Just tucked it up the inside. Everyone too worried about what's going on, and Newman's like, well, while you're pondering about giving each other some room, I'll just slip by. Thank you very much.
Well, if we had a BSR TC top 5 overtakes, Adam, that'd probably make it in.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere there.
You need more than 5, though, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, I think there's been plenty over just this season alone.
Oh, Woodhouse goes wide, still can't clear Michael Blake. Must be very frustrating, really.
Ross Balfour getting in there as well, getting in the mix. Ross will go through, doesn't give an half an opportunity. His nose there.
Balfour
And here
trying to
comes
get 11th.
Sutton actually there as well. Sutton trying to get through on Katz, and that's some history there, Adam, from 2015.
Yeah, of course it was Sutton that hit Andreas Katz that ended his shot at being the BSR-TC champion for 2015. Katz, a two-time BSR-TC title winner, of course. And Sutton now going to take that 16th place away. We've got a change for third place, Richard Gore and Matt Bunn battling.
Yeah, and there's two lots of 3 wide down the straight as well. Sorry, my eyes are just everywhere at the minute. Ball and gun, I nearly said. Bun and go.
Katz was squeezed there as well, comes out worse, but he survives. I think that's the important thing. So
3 wide.
3 wide.
Bun. Chepelevsky and Richard Gore. Chepelevsky just drifting to the inside. Very clean driving at the moment. Gore has to go wide to preserve his status in this race. But Stelian Chepelevsky looks like he's made that one work, and that's, well, a man who's a former championship runner-up. We thought, Adam, it could be his year, but not had a great showdown, has he, the Bulgarian?
What a move! And there's another great move. And that was Bunn, but it hasn't worked out just yet. Stelian Chepelevsky will come back up the inside, and Gore's going to be there as well, and he might take that 4th place away.
This is terrific racing, it really is. Should go around the outside of Bico Di Pato. Bunn has to hug the curb, get the car to pull him round, but now he's got the outside line for Megulo down the hill. Plunges down, one of the more difficult corners on the circuit. Doesn't look like a difficult one, but it is. And now can Richard Gore follow Stelian Chepelevsky through Junkau, get a good exit, and maybe protect his position, which is now still the 4th place that he was in at the start of the lap, Adam.
Absolutely crazy, this battle going on here for best of the rest. Chepelevsky, 3rd position, already gained 13 spots during the race. Gore looking to the outside, and I don't think he's going to find much way through there. Bunn having a little look at the inside as well on Richard Gore going into the centre rest, but it all stays in the same positions for now on to lap 6 of the race.
This is really working well for Matthew Bunn and his AM category, Alex, really is, because Paul Smith, his nearest competitor, is 22nd. Roy Ververke is 34th, so something must have happened to the Belgian driver.
Yeah, not quite sure what's happened to Roy. Poor Philip in his debut as well. He's out once again, caught up with Craig McLeod Evans, and I think it was Craig's fault based on what's being said in the chat.
And
so,
Steve Efford in his last meeting, Alex, in the wars again, unfortunately.
Look at this, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th.
My word.
This is just insane. Look, there's more cars involved than that as well. What is this? This is just insane.
What is this?
This is a gaggle, I think.
It's the Daytona 500, that's what it is. They've just decided to turn right as well.
As if you've got
2
2 deep, 4 deep there. 2 wide, 4 deep. That's insane.
Can I just make a plea to any of the viewers at home? How the hell are we supposed to commentate on this?
Hall up the inside of
He's going to try. Somebody's going to try. I'm not. He nearly got quarter panelled in Hall. Woodhouse going round the outside.
Fluke up the inside.
Bash goes crafted to Woodhouse.
Colin Cunniff also fancying his chances up the inside of Fluke, and he gets hit up the back by
again.
Simmons. Here comes Smith.
Here comes Smith. 2 places gained, and it could be 3.
With the final left-hander, Cunniff gives him the space. Don't do what the championship leaders did and quarter-panel each other down the straight, guys.
I'll tell you what a scene. You do not see this in many leagues at all.
Oh, my word.
They're fanning out to
4 wide.
Almost 5 wide. Into the centre S's. They've got to sort each other out somehow.
And they do.
Simmons and Woodhouse very close together. You've got somewhere in the middle of that is Jamie Rushworth, former champion. I was going to say, Adam, before all this kicked off, that Wojciech Sirinovic is bidding to become the 3rd 2-times champion in the history of this competition.
Yeah, we've got Andreas Katz with 2 titles, season 3 and season 8, and Kip Stevens, of course, of seasons 1 and 2. And yes, Sirinovic won his last title with Apex Racing TV back in 2014. He's trying to get that 2nd title this year.
Speaking of Kip Stevens, Alex, he's 30th and he's 19.6 seconds behind. You go up to 13th place and that's 14.7. There's 15 drivers covered by 5 seconds.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Just on board with Smolinski as well.
How are you supposed to... Oh my goodness me. Smolinski's alongside Laidler. Laidler's trying to force his way through on the boost. He does it indeed. almost trying to force his way through on John Roberts, but actually that didn't help Laidler. It's Diogo Melro, the reigning Club Series champion, is coming through, and he touches the back axle of Laidler. Oh, and Laidler pushes Roberts off. It's all kicking off here. We are aware that the battle for the lead's very close. There's only 2/10 between David Baker and Wojciech Swidovic, but we're going to stay with this melee. That's all you can call it, really.
Balfour and Sutton as well. That's a move complete for Sutton. Let's get back to that crazy pack note.
Sutton up to 10th place.
Make that 26 positions gain now for the BTCC driver after starting in 36th place.
It is truly amazing. Oh, Smith with a nice... Oh, Bash! Smith with a nice undercut on...
And Woodhouse is off with him.
But he hit Woodhouse. Or Woodhouse hit him, one or the other. Didn't really see it. But, oh, all hell's breaking loose here. It's fantastic. And you know what, Alex, this is what happens when we don't have a great big pile-up at the start, because Interlagos does promote close racing, especially in this Kia, which you always say is one of the best racing cars in the world.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even when we go to the oval circuits, you know, we see too wide all through. Just you know, the car just seems to work in so many different grooves and lines, and yeah, we can see it right now on track. Well, we've got what, 2 laps to go when they cross the line. And I tell you what, Wojciech is looking pretty close. I think he's got a move on his mind.
See if he's going to start it at the start of the final lap. Of course, these two came together in this exact spot in race 1. Vidic in the tow as we come across the line, white flag in the air.
Fingers in front of the face, I think. Just cowering, not wanting to look. But at the same time, you can't avert your eyes, because here's the battle for the championship lead. Well, the 2 leading contenders in the championship, at least. Into the centre S is side by side. Here comes Wojciech Swidovic. 2 laps to go. He tried to make his move, and I wonder if that's just a little bit of a... he's just flicking the jab out just to see if Baker makes a mistake. Maybe waiting for that big right hook.
I'll ask you a question here, though, guys. Does he need to overtake, you know? He's absolutely in the driving seat of the championship right now, and he doesn't need to risk anything. There's only a couple of points. They're 157 clear, you know, but why do you want to do it for a bit of pride, you know, the final lap of the race?
We do have a history of photo finishes at this circuit. Don't forget that.
He has had the pace, though, Adam, as well. You've seen that he's you know, sniffed around for a move several times, and he's very fast, it seems, in the last sector of the course. So we'll see if Swidovic can get it done. If he's going to do it anywhere, it's going to be in the centre S's. We may just see a titanic battle between Dave Baker and Wojciech Swidovic. 156 points between them, which is quite a lot, but of course if there's another DNF for either man, well, that could be almost decisive, especially with Daniel Kraft still in the hunt. Well in the hunt, 16th for him. And now Swidovic, Alex, has got a very, very nice run. You know indeed how to overtake at this Interlagos circuit. Let's take us through this attempt by Swidovic.
Yeah, he's just going to get tucked in. He's within that 3/10. That should get him enough of a run to at least get alongside, I would think, into the braking zone. Starts to close in now. Just a 1/10.5 away. Here he comes. He's going to have to be late on the brakes. Baker sort of covers the line a little bit. Wodge back to the outside. He's going to try and line up for a move going into turn 4. Just get a good exit out of the centre S. He does just that.
Wow.
Just a 1/10.5. This is going to be very, very close.
Look, a massive amount of curb there through the first part of the centre S did Swidovic.
I was going to ask the question, is the Retro Apostle long enough to get out that slipstream? Here comes Swidovic. I think he's missed his braking point. He had to turn it into an overtaking move. And I think he was also a bit gentlemanly, Alex, on the out, letting Baker have that outside. But Baker fights back into Ferradura.
On the inside goes the race of a CQR car. Swidovic will fight it out round the outside, but Baker has the inside line now, and he might be able to hold the position if he's late enough on the brakes, but it will now go back into Svidovic's favour of going into this left-hander. He nudges up the inside.
Svidovic tried to squeeze him through Pinarino, but he just got a bit wide, and then, oh, I tell you what, this brilliant racing, wheel to wheel. Baker through Bico Di Pato. Svidovic just fires it out there. Baker cuts him off. He saw that he had enough space. Through Magullo then. Svidovic is going to have to set him up through Yunchao. Got a great run. This could be a photo finish, Adam.
We go then up the hill towards the line. He's going to have to get in the toe quickly. Is the Sim Racer driver? Oh, it's going to be very, very close.
Just a few hundred metres to go then, but it's going to be David Baker surely who's going to take the win here at Interlagos. On the inside he is, and David Baker wins round 129, and what a race again. Brilliant. It ended in absolute disaster for these two in race 1, but race 2, Alex Simpson, that was a titanic battle between the two best drivers in this championship.
Yeah, fantastic race there. Absolutely love that. I mean, not just what happened there on those last few laps, but absolutely everybody else as well in that mid-pack. That was absolutely epic stuff.
What a wonderful race, Adam. I know you didn't quite see all of it, but it was exciting from start to finish. And that mid-pack battle was as ridiculous as anything I think we've ever seen here on Apex Racing TV.
So close. It was so close. You couldn't. Where would you look in that midfield? And tell you what, I wonder what the drivers were like racing in it. I'm sure we'll chat to some of them, perhaps after the 4th race of the evening. But astonishing racing there. And just looking at the time differences from 17th to about 26th, we have about 3 seconds separating them. So 10 cars in 3 seconds. Yeah, that is Daytona 500 territory right there. And we've still got 2 more races to go. Only half the race meetings in the books.
And, you know, just by and large, very good driving. Pretty clean. But yeah, I mean, what a circuit this is. It really does promote that sort of action, and we've seen it. And Alex, I for one am very pleased that these drivers have been able to race freely without any major accidents in the first 2 races. I'm sure we might get 1 or 2 in the last 2, but up to now it's going very nicely.
I'm sure we'll get 1 tonight. But yeah, no, this is it's what we come to watch, isn't it? So and
best league in the world.
Yeah, we bash on about it. What other series do you see where the racing's this close, all the way through the entire pack? You just don't. And this is why the drivers do this series. We're not going to sit here and say, oh, the Kia's the best car or anything else like that, because some of them absolutely hate it. But actually, the racing is so good. The guys in this series are so good. This is why they're here week in, week out doing this. It's just phenomenal.
That's why I love to drive it, and and what it's all about. It's about close competition. It doesn't really matter if the car's terrible, which the Kia isn't. It's not. I'm not going to turn around and say it's as much fun to drive as some of the more powerful rear-wheel drive cars, or even the Formula 1 car, or even the NASCAR. But what it brings to the table, Adam, in terms of racing, you can't get close to it. I mean, maybe the Skip Barber, but bang wheels in that, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's what's so difficult about the Skip Barber. But once you've got a field with the amount of cars that we've got like this, a grid of 30 plus cars in Kia Optimas, the racing is probably the best you'll ever see on iRacing. And that second race was a clear example of it there. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 2 races. Well, let's run you through the finishing order. David Baker takes the win from Wojciech Savidovic. Some more priceless points for Baker. He's closing slowly but surely in on Savidovic. Stelin Chapelewski gets 3rd place after a pretty bad race 1. Richard Gore in 4th for Apex Racing, with Andrew Whitehead in 5th for Booster Motorsport. Important for their team's championship, considering they were 89 points behind going into this second race of the evening. Matt Bunn finishing in 6th, so that will help increase his lead in the Pro-Am Championship over Paul Smith. Ben Hackerson finishing in 7th. Ash Sutton...
Can I just stop you just very quickly and note on when we were talking about Ben Hackerson, on the first lap he pulled his steering wheel off. So he had a problem on lap 1, but recovered to finish 7th. So there you go, just a little note on him.
Memories of that Top Gear limo challenge not too far away.
Oh no.
28 positions gained for Ash Sutton as he finishes in 8th. Ross Balfour in 9th, and 10th Lee Berridge. 11th for Pete Newman. Andreas Katz finishing in 12th. Michael Blake in 13th. Jamie Fluke finishing in 14th place. Michael Hall 15th. Dan Kraft 3rd in the championship, finishing in 16th place with Jamie Rushworth 17th. George Simmons 18th. Colin Cunniff in 19th. And 20th Alex Smolensky. Incidentally, I don't know if we mentioned, but Pete Newman is also mathematically out of the BSRTC Championship. 21st foot. Yep, go on, Alan. True.
Yeah, we did. Don't worry.
21st, thank you, Alex. 21st, Diogo Melro. 22nd, Paul Smith. 23rd, Pete Harrod. Rusty Laidler, 24th. Nick McCarron, 25th. Dan Blake, 26th. John Roberts, 27th. 28th, Stuart Atkinson. 29th, Kip Stevens. 30th, Rob Graham. 31st, Roy Verke. And then Nathan Davis, 1 lap down. So he's the car eligible if we get another full reverse grid. Mark Woodhouse, 2 laps down, 33rd. Michael Schalbach, 4 laps down. Steve Hefford in his final BSRTC race meeting, 35th, 5 laps down. And Craig Evans and Philip Lidico, both 6 laps down. Philip Lidico not having the best start to his BSRTC career, and Max Wright didn't take the start.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, Steve Hefford he's racing this series for a long time. I think he's done 300 plus races actually in this series, and I don't know if it's a permanent retirement, but if it is, then all the best to Steve in whatever he does in iRacing in the future. He said he's going to go off and do some MX5. Alex, sometimes you just need a new challenge, don't you? Really, out there.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You can do the same thing time and time again, and it doesn't matter how good it is. You can get a bit stale, can't it? I think that's the right expression. Yeah. And go and do a new challenge, and then maybe something cool. Like he said in that post, was that he's hoping for a proper touring car to come out. Not that this isn't, but a BTCC one. Let's not beat around the bush. That's what we want.
Come on, iRacing. Come on, iRacing. I don't think they'll mind us saying that. Come on, iRacing. Right, reverse grid then. Back to the business at hand, which is this showdown, and there are only 6 races left in this 2016 season, Adam. So tell us who's in charge. Who has a chance to be on pole? And actually, one of them I can see already, Daniel Kraft. He was always going to. Oh, that was what I was just going to say to you, Adam, before. It was always going to be difficult for Daniel Kraft, wasn't it, with Wodge and Baker starting at the very front of the field. But now he might have a chance to turn the tables a little bit.
Yeah, and considering we had a full reverse grid for this race, how fitting would it be if we had the smallest one possible that would put Dan Kraft onto pole position? The cars that are eligible are as follows then: 16 to 25 plus 2 falls. Dan Kraft is in 16th. Jamie Rushworth, George Simmons, Colin Cuniff, Alex Smolensky, Diogo Melro, Paul Smith, Pete Harrod, Rusty Laidler, Nick McCarron. And if we have a fall, it will put Nathan Davis onto pole position. And if we do have another fall, it will help Roy Verke because he is 120 or so points behind Matt Bunn. So a pole position would help him and would give him the possibility of closing in on Matt Bunn. So over to you, Alex. Around 130 now.
Here we go then. Who is going to get this? Where's it going to come out? We can see so close to nipping over to 25th last time. More of a vicious spin. We have not adjusted this at all. But it's
another fall.
It's a fall again, guys.
Here we go. It's Nathan Davis on the pole with Roy Verke second, Rob Graham third, Kip Stevens fourth, and Stuart Atkinson will be in fifth.
Now, I do have the updated championship standings. Baker closed in by all of, I believe it was another point. Or Richard, everyone's still in, so nobody's out of contention. There's 656 points available. Richard Gore is 616 points behind, so still in play. Jay Wright's on the bubble really for going out. He's only can only drop 144 points in the last 6 races, which is going to be very, very tough indeed. So, it's really still all to play for. 11 drivers still out there in the main championship, 6 still in the pro category, 4 teams in the pros, and 3 in the pro-ams. So, guys, there's 2 races left tonight, and so we want you to stay here on Apex Racing TV, and we want you to take both of those in, because I'm sure they're going to be fantastic. So join us again after the break for more from the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
And we're back for race 3 of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship from Interlagos, Brazil, round 130 of the 2016 season, which started all the way back in March and runs for just another week after this one. It's the penultimate meeting of the season before we go to Daytona International Speedway for the final 4 races at the scene of one of the most amazing meetings, Adam, we've ever seen in 2015.
Yeah, it was, and it was action from the word go. We had a 0.000 second finish. Even the clock couldn't separate Savidovic and Job there in race 1. And yeah, the championship got closer and closer with Sebastian Job and Andreas Katz trading positions in that final few laps of the 3rd race of the evening. And yeah, it was Sebastian Job that came out on top. We'll see if any of that can be emulated next week. But let's run you through the grid then for the 3rd race of the day. Roy Ververke is on pole position. If he wants to close the gap to Matt Bunn, the work starts now. Rob Graham starts 2nd with Kip Stevens in 3rd. 4th, Stuart Atkinson. 5th, John Roberts. 6th, Dan Blake. 7th, Nick McCarron. 8th, Rusty Laidler. 9th, Pete Harrod. And 10th is Paul Smith. Diogo Melrose in 11th. Alex Smolensky 12th. 13th, Colin Cunniff. 14th, George Simmons. 15th, Jamie Rushworth. 16th, Dan Kraft. 17th, Michael Hall. 18th, Jamie Fluke. 19th, Michael Blake. And Andreas Katz in 30th. 20th, can't count. 21st, Lee Berridge. 22nd, Ross Balfour. Ash Sutton in 23rd. 24th, Ben Hackerson. 25th, Matt Bunn. 26th, Andrew Whitehead. 27th, Richard Gore. 28th, Stelin Shepelevsky. 29th, Wojciech Savidovic. And 30th is our race 2 winner, David Baker.
All right. So we're just about ready for round 130 out of 135. The red lights are coming on at Interlagos.
Green, green, green.
And the green light is on and the Automet cars get away decently from the front row. Is it going to be Ververke? Is it going to be Graham into turn 1? It looks like it's going to be Graham. But Ververke can squeeze. Oh, I think there's a bit of contact. I think Stevens might have nudged Ververke into turn 1. They're coming through quite nicely behind. I don't think there's any contact through turn 2. It's usually the pinch point here on this Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Down the back straight they go. Good
Panning
start.
Out. And it all looks relatively calm for now, but we're going into Tecido de Largo. There's some changes of position going on there. There's an engine all direct car at the inside and contact between Laidler and Diogo Melro.
Blake's hit a boosted car. Hackerson's round. Michael Blake and Ben Hackerson there, Alex, coming to grief.
Yeah, a shame for Hackerson, but still not out of it yet. Anything can happen, and we've already seen 2 reverse grids, so...
Well, that's it. You never know, he might get reversed onto pole for race 3. So who's leading then? It's Robert Graham, who's not in contention for any of the prizes. So I wonder, do you think any team tactics will come into play, Alex, later on with Ververke?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they've thought about that too much. Who knows? Maybe they have.
Maybe they're just focusing on getting through and surviving this race, but it's Rob Graham leading, Roy Ververke 2nd, Kip Stevens in 3rd, then it's the boosted car of Stuart Atkinson, then it's John Roberts in 5th, and 6th is Pete Harrod.
Plenty of action going on in the midfield here as we come across the line. Diogo Melro and I believe that is George Simmons going at it across the line.
Dan Blake
as well.
Simmons just behind them in that group.
Oh yeah. And Melro trying to look around the outside of curve. Sol in the background. George Simmons trying to get past Alex Smolensky, and Nick McCarron's also in there. Dan Kraft in there as well. And further up the road, the boosted car of Stuart Atkinson is having a go with both of the CQR Academy cars.
Dan Kraft needs to make some moves quickly. He's through on McCarron. Good work from him. He really needs to use this opportunity, Adam, to really gain some points on Dave Baker, Wojciech Savidovic ahead of him, because you know the successes in race 2 meant that of course they were reversed further down the field. Oh, and I can hear some contact, Alex. I don't know if you've seen if there's anything that's gone on there.
Can't see anything at the moment. Some good battles going on out there though. Smolensky and Diego Melrose side by side. Jamie Fluke, Jamie Rushworth doing the same thing. They're very close further
Smith.
back as well. I think that might have been Shellback as well. Oh, 3 wide just ahead of him. So Fluke, sorry, no, that's Rushworth, Katz, and Sutton. But Sutton's got the advantage there, moves into 17th place. That's all going on.
Having a look again, yeah. Paul Smith, important move for the AM category. He got past.
Slow down for Pete Harrod.
Atkinson. Oh, Harrod. Well, lap 2.
Stay with this because you know what can sometimes happen. He gets right out of the way though.
And that's
looks
a
like
big
more
old
than just a
look at
slow
that.
down.
The big old slowdown.
Oh.
No, it's just a slowdown, but
yeah, it is.
it's one of those lap 2 ones. If you don't have a clean lap 1, can sometimes happen. What's that I heard? Well, nothing really, but
Sutton working his way through, a little bit of contacts, argy-bargy there with Colin Cunniff going through the Curva de Sol. And they're going now towards the Reta Riposta and Decido Delago at the end of the straight. Sutton already up into 15th place.
Oh, nice move by Cunniff, and Sutton hits Cunniff. Down the straight towards Ferradura, up the hill. Sutton going to try the outside. He probably will try it. Whether he can get it done or not, I don't know. Cunniff fighting hard there.
Look at this little battle ahead as well. Leading that at the moment is Dan Blake. He's got Melroy behind him. Stuart Atkins. This is crazy going on.
Bosch from Cunniff into Sutton. Sorry, Alex, those two beating 7 bells out of each other.
Yeah, wherever you look at the moment, there's battles going on.
Well, he was going to have a go again then.
Yeah, he was. I think he was trying it.
Rushworth gets through, and so is Michael Schalbach trying to get past Jamie Fluke. Fluke trying to hold it out around the outside.
There's all sorts going on in this third race of the evening here. The iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. And Sutton and Cunniff side by side. And Stevens looking at second place as well. 2 times champion. And the man who wants to become the AM champion, Roy Verke.
Dan Craft going for a move as well up the inside. Just spotted that one into turn 1. Gets that move done against Stuart Atkins. So another place for Craft. He's got Simmons ahead of him. Simmons having a steady meeting as well, and he keeps doing those. He's going to bring himself back into contention as well. Ahead of him is Smolensky, who darts out to have a look at George's teammate, I think.
You saw that as well, Adam, didn't you?
Yeah, Verke having a little look at the inside of his teammate there, but there was no way through.
I don't know if Graham sort of looked like he was going to let Verke through, but then didn't. I think that was a bit of an odd one, that. Alex, I don't know if you just got a minute or two to just tell everybody how they can get involved in this fantastic competition.
Yeah, of course. This is for anyone who doesn't know what they're watching right now. Oh, as there was contact from Kip Stevens on Verke, just when you don't want a bit of action to happen. But let's just stay with this just for a second, see if it dies down a little bit. Don't want him to do a move.
Either that or do the quickest iRacing plug you've ever done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you don't know what this is Motorsport Simulator, iRacing.com. Head on over to their website and you can sign up on there. Use the promotional code PR-BSRTC. You can get 3 months for the price of 2. All you need is a simple PC, wheel and pedal set, and you can get racing with us very, very quickly. There's lots of cars to choose from, not just obviously the Kia. If you're into a bit more of single-seater action, then you can do that. If you like the oval stuff, want to drive in the stock cars, then you can get involved in that. Just released dirt as well, so dirt coming to the service too, so that'll be a lot of fun. You can obviously hang the rear end of the car out. Should be a great blast.
Sorry, Alex, that was John Roberts breaking on the grass for the Senna But very well saved, and he's just ahead of Smith, but actually Laidler's going to come through
behind,
as well.
Though 3 wide, Melrose, Simmons, Craft.
Smith goes through on Roberts. Melrose, can he get through on Smolensky? Be very close. Smolensky still mathematically in the hunt. 6th place, Adam.
Yeah, very close.
Shellback dropping down the order. Don't know what's happened to Shellback.
Oh, Melrose sideways to Ferradura. Not going to help him. He's lost 2 places. He might lose a 3rd to... Oh, Simmons. Just a bit of a helping hand there, son. Oh, very close racing between Simmons and Melrose, Adam. Look at that.
Going into Pico Tapasso, Simmons has it for now. Orbit on that score panel nearly.
Melrose.
And Balfour up the inside into Pico Tapasso.
He won't get it done. and he won't do anything through Magullo as well. The drivers are very, very tentative about Magullo because it's such a difficult corner.
Nick McCarron just dropping down as well, so issues going on out there. There's a huge pack starting to build up, just like we had in the last race as well, from 18th down to about 30th, so 12 cars there.
We've lost Nathan Davies as well.
Good there for Nathan Davis.
And now there's a battle going on into turn 1 between Alex Smolensky and Daniel Kraft. Kraft wanting to keep his title chances alive. And he'll need to do that here with a very, very solid top 10 result, maybe even a top 5. Maybe that's all that will do.
Well, championship contenders, Savidovic is in 15th place. Stevens and Ververke also changing positions. Stevens having to go off in the Decido del Lago corner at the end of the Rutter Aposta. The sim racer car trying to get by. Smith also now side by side with Laidler going into the Ferradura at the bottom of the hill.
I do appreciate that Rob Graham wants to win the race, I really do, but I wonder if it would have been a bit more sensible, Alex, at this point, switching those positions and let Graham be the cork in the bottle for Stevens.
Yeah, possibly, because I think Roy's got enough pace to perhaps scamper away, hasn't he? So, but yeah, maybe Roy's just trying to help his teammate out, see if he can get Rob onto the top step of the podium. And there's only less than 5 laps to go.
And I suppose you have to say that, Alex, as well, that the slipstream of Graham is keeping Ververke away from the attack of Stevens.
Very true. So it could work. A 1-2 would be an amazing result for them, even if they can just stay on the podium. As Smith gets a good run out of the final corner up the inside of Laidler. Laidler, real shocking run, and he's already lost the position.
Smith making fantastic progress, Adam. He did start 10th, he's now 4th.
Up 6 places, yep. And just in front of them, Ververke, is he going to make the corner? He does. Stevens trying to get that second place away, and they're not allowing Graham to get away too far at all. George Simmons and Diogo Melro going at it. I think that was George Simmons up a place. So that is Simmons now into 9th at 5 positions. Melro might try and get the position back into Decido del Lago. Not if he takes that line, that's for sure.
The thing is, these three are going to have to get on with it because Smith is fast, Laidler's fast, and so is Roberts. John Roberts, AM champion 2015. Not gone as well for him this season, but the man who was the regular season points leader in the AM category last year, as well as taking the title. He did fight back from some adversity in that showdown. He's right on the tail of his old nemesis, Paul Smith. So, see what happens there. Daniel Kraft and Alex Smolensky still battling. Kraft really needs to get on with it. Simmons is in the fight, so is Melro.
We've lost Colin Cunniff, just as a note.
I hope that wasn't another hardware failure.
I'll go back and have a look for you.
It was on this lap. Looks like a disconnection, to be honest. Oh no, it's I think it's disqualification.
Yep, it's very, very close now.
Already. Yeah, and this is the first time, Alex, which Kip has really had a proper run at Ververke. The Belgian is going to have to defend. And he does well.
Allowing everyone else to close in though. Paul Smith is going to be right on the back of these guys in half a lap or so.
This is not what you want with 3 laps left. Ash Sutton's battling away with Dan Blake, but even someone like Ash Sutton would have had half a chance maybe if he'd have made that move stick. They couldn't quite do it. But it's really down to probably Ross Balfour. Everyone's still in the hunt. As long as these two keep battling, Blake and Sutton, very close.
Out of nowhere, he's up the inside of Stevens and into 3rd.
There you go. Through goes Paul Smith. And that's exactly why these guys needed to get on with it.
Stevens won't give up.
Oh, he won't. He will
nudge.
not. He just taps Smith. Smith is sideways. But he may recover it.
Oh no, number 13, that's Roberts. He was all over the sorts of our shape there.
He's still all over the place. I wonder if he got some help from Smolensky.
Stevens through, Smith.
Stevens is through. Smith is not happy about that, you can tell. Body language of our Apex Racing TV colleague. And he thought about looking to Rico Di Pato. Oh, there's problems behind, is there? No, it's just very, very tough racing, very close racing between Daniel Kraft Alex Smolenski. Kraft must be so frustrated because he's tried everything he knows to get past the Bulgarian, including going around the outside of Young Cow. It doesn't happen that often. Decent run up the hill, but he's going to have to just tuck into the slipstream of that Sim Racer magazine car. Alex has everything going on around here, and it's still anybody's race.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
This could be the change
again.
now. This could be the change of position, potentially.
But yeah, Smith's going to try again. Stevens late on the brakes, be careful! Little touch on Reverke.
But that's actually, Smith slightly followed him a bit wide, Alex Stevens, and couldn't really make the most of the undercut.
Let's watch. 1.5 laps to go then.
Graham's defending from Ververke. I really don't think it's a good strategy.
Backing everyone up, isn't it? Stevens is now
Not
back
a
on
good
the back of these.
The man's fighting for the championship. I think you've got to let him through. You have to. Because that's the man just behind him who's also in contention for the AM category. Where's Matt Bunn?
Bunn is in
23rd.
He's in 23rd place after Craig Evans, I think, also got disqualified. He's not showing on my timing screen, but
Stevens nudges Ververke. And again, heavy blows from that Kia Optima.
Oh,
and now we might get a heavy blow. If Stevens would have attempted that into Mico Di Pato, we could have seen a problem for both men there.
Backing everyone up, isn't it? We've got a train of now about 12 cars all the way back to Ash Sutton, all within a few seconds of this lead.
And the problem that Roy Ververke has got, Alex, is that he keeps taking those sort of half-defensive lines into corners, which is not helping his exit speed.
No, he's always under a little bit of pressure. He got a good exit through there, though. We'll have the slipstream of his teammate. Like you say, he just needs Rob Graham just to absolutely just nail every lap, every corner here. Don't go defensive. It's just packing up the pack even more, and it's making Roy's job of playing that sort of defensive role even harder.
Final lap of the race then, Adam. White flag was in the air. And this is a fantastic battle with only 5.9 seconds separating the top 15 drivers.
Incredible. Smith now looking to the inside of Stevens, and it begins down the Retro Posta, and Smolenski going all sorts of defensive there on Dan Kraft in the background. Smith looks at the inside.
For Ververke, we're hoping these two get into it again, because if they do, which they very nearly did, coming out of Interlagos,
Stevens sacrificing an incident point so he could get a good run on the exit of Interlagos.
Nothing wrong with that if you've got them to spend. Andre Smith might have a dive into Pinarino. Here he comes. And Stevens has hit the rear corner of Roy Ververke.
And put him in the air, and Stevens
made a mistake. Can you believe it?
Oh, Smith, is he going to throw it at the inside into Mico Di Pato? He's got the line.
He has to. He has to. And here comes Laidler. Alex's Kia Optima nemesis, no doubt.
He just gets nerfed out wide. The front guys are clear now. All this little battling in there for the final podium spot has released them. It's going to be a 1-2.
Oh, Bosch. Laidler shoving his way through past Stevens and Yunchao. But here we go. It's Automec 1 and 2. This is a fantastic result for the team, but who's going to take the win? Is it going to be Rob Graham? Is it going to be Roy Ververke? We do not know who's going to take it. Who is it? Over the line it is... Oh!
Graham by 1.5 tenths.
Very, very close. All round.
Down goes Stevens.
Oh dear. Well, that's the way to finish the race, facing the wrong way, isn't it?
Top 13, 3.6 seconds.
That's how you want to finish it. And by the end of that fight, Wojciech Suridovic was in 12th. He got up to that lead pack.
And Kraft
29th, incredible.
And Kraft's got nudged back a few positions in the end. He was battling with Smolenski, but in that final lap, George Simmons was able to get through, so Kraft finished in 9th.
So he cannot eat into that 219-point lead to any great degree. And Alex, what did you make of that race? I mean, what a fantastic result for Automec, and I know Rob Graham deserved the win. I'm not saying that at all, but I do think they might have got that the wrong way around.
I think you're right. If they're looking at the point situation, they should have switched them. But maybe
every point counts. You've been saying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Since race 1 of the season.
Yeah, maybe Verke and they were all in that channel having a chat and decided that's how we're going to play
Maybe.
and give Rob the
Yeah.
opportunity. So
And
Roy
I
is
don't
always
know.
a good sportsman, isn't he?
Yeah, he is indeed. And I'm going to have to get some stats on this to see whether or not Rob Graham has won a race before. He has. He's won 2 races. So that's his 3rd career win. But Adam, that's his first win for a long time. I'm not sure when his last one is, and I don't expect you to find out either.
Trafford springs to mind.
You probably have to go back to the paper archives of BSRTC to find it.
Yeah, they're in my room somewhere. But I remember it being in season 6 of the BSRTC, fighting for what was then the Pro-Am Championship and fighting for the first ever Pro-Am win, because that was the first time we ever did it. But yeah,
I think he may have taken a win. Yeah, possibly taken a win in season 6, I would say.
Another win for them. And Automech 1-2. When was the last time we saw that? And probably never.
Never, no, I would say. They did win a race, didn't they? I think in
Laser Tools and all their other guises in the past.
Yeah, they have won races in the past, but that's a 1-2 for Automech, and we've seen, Alex, before how teams can get a good result, like Pete Newman Media did when they got the 1-2-3 at Brands Hatch, and it really just pushed them forward.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope that these guys, the last race, they can do that as well, and Roy can have a good run in the final couple of rounds, because it's good to see him having a 3-way fight for that AM championship. But yeah, as for the team, it'd always be good to see them there. I mean, every now and again they just have like a little flash, don't they, of something, there's some potential there, and they just need to harness that and try and build on that. And yeah, hopefully that'll be another team, trying to mix it in for the showdown.
They've got a good squad now, Adam. It's just about pulling it together over a season, isn't it? They've got Graham, Verke, Malcolm, and McLeod Evans, and really, they just have to get it, become more consistent and really, really push on, because they can probably get a driver quite close to the showdown, I would imagine, in 2017.
I think for a team like Automech, they need to try and make sure they get as much advantage as they can in the reverse grid races, because at the moment I don't think they've got a driver in the team that will have the pace over a single lap to be right up there in race 1. But if the reverse grid goes in their favour, there's no reason why they can't be fighting for wins on a regular basis next season. In the reverse grid races, we have plenty of them during the race meeting, of course. And speaking of which, we've got one more to come in a moment.
We do. No, I will say that I have a stat for you. There are 300% more reverse grid races than there are normal races. So there we are.
There we go.
That's the kind of insight you get here. Shut up, you.
Rob Graham then takes the before we get fired again. Rob Graham takes the win. Roy Verke got second, so an Automech 1-2. Paul Smith within a second of those guys, with Kip Stevens in fourth. Only 200ths of a second behind him was Rusty Laidler, so those two were cutting it fine towards the end. John Roberts finishing in sixth with Alex Smolensky, seventh. Eighth for George Simmons, ninth Dan Kraft, and 10th for Ross Balfour. 12 thousandths behind him in 11th was Ash Sutton. Wojciech Savidovic in 12th, 13th for Diego Melro, and 14th for Dan Blake. Great result for him, even though he started 6th. Andreas Katz, 15th, 16th for Stalin Chapalevsky, 17th for Michael Hall, 18th Andrew Whitehead, 19th Richard Gore, and 20th Ben Hackerson. Stuart Atkinson in 21st place, 22nd for David Baker. So after taking that win in race 2, he's lost some ground to Davidovic here in that third race of the day. 23rd for Jamie Rushworth with Matt Bunn in 24th. Pete Harrod in 25th, 26th Steve Hefford, 27th for Max Wright, 28th Mark Woodhouse, and then 29th Michael Blake. Jamie Fluke is in 30th. I know we get a fall for the third time in a row. He will be on pole position.
Which has never happened.
Yeah, that is a stat. That's never happened before. Greg Evans is 31st, 2 laps down. Colin Cunniff, we believe, got disqualified. He's 4 laps down in 32nd. Lee Berridge, 5 laps down. Nick McCarron and Michael Shelback, both 6 laps down. And Nathan Davis, 10 laps down. Problems for him on the opening lap of the race.
Right then. So, as Adam mentioned, Alex, the pressure is on, because there's never been 3 fulls. And depending on your point of view on it, it's either pressure to avoid it or pressure to get another one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, I guess.
You're now going to press the full button.
Yeah.
Running through the contenders, Chepelevsky, Hall, Whitehead, Gore, Hackerson, Atkinson, Baker, Rushworth, Bunn, Harrods, and we have a fall. It will be Alex's own Jamie Fluke that gets reversed onto pole position. So even more animosity, I think, if we get a third fall.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just piling it on.
I will get it in the neck if this happens. Right, here we go. Where's it going to end up?
Which door button?
Full. Oh, it's close. It's going to tick by though this time. Only just. And it is only just as well. 25th, so we have another large one as well. The next largest we can get.
So Pete Harrods is reversed onto pole position. Matt Bunn is going to be happy as well because he's on the front row. Jamie Rushworth and David Baker with another opportunity to try and get some points back on Savinovic. They'll be starting in 3rd and 4th on row 2, and Stuart Atkinson in 5th.
All right, so what a great meeting we've had so far, but it's not over yet. We've got one more race to come here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. So join us again back here in about 10 minutes' time for race 4 from the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be into stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to the final race of the evening here in the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Sims, I'm forgetting who we are for a second, in the final race of the evening, and with only 5 races left in this great championship that's been going since March. Everything really is hotting up and reaching a crucial stage. Adam, we are down to 8 championship contenders in the main championship.
Yes. For the 3 races today, we've lost Pete Newman, Michael Shellback, Richard Gore and Michael Hall. And we've now only 547 points on offer. We could be in danger of losing the likes of Jamie Fluke and Stelling Chepelevsky and maybe even Jamie Rushworth going into the final round of the season at Daytona.
Alex, in terms of championship contenders, this could indeed be a massacre, this race.
It could be, absolutely. We could just lose so many, and really, it's just going to be all about trying to get as far up that championship as possible for these drivers. Of course, still, prize money available for teams and up to 3rd place and things like that.
Remember the team championship.
Yeah, so there's lots still to fight for. Just not, they'll be out of the championship hunt.
And Apex Racing is struggling in the teams championship as well, as are Alphalatech. Apex Racing 798 points behind with only 1,542 still remaining. Alphalatech 636 behind. So really at the moment it's a 2-horse race between Sim Racer and Racer with CQR. In the AM category it's closed up again a little bit. Matt Bunley's by 91 points from Paul Smith, and then Roy Verkin 97 behind. We may possibly lose Nick McCarron in this race. I don't know. Hopefully he can prove us wrong. Adam, if you can just give us a quick rundown on the grid as we've about 30 seconds before the green lights.
Okay, Pete Harrod on pole position, Matt Bunn is CQR Academy teammate on the front row. 2 Racer with CQR cars on row 2, Rushworth and Baker in 3rd and 4th respectively. Then in 5th, Stuart Atkinson, 6th, Ben Hackerson, 7th, Richard Gore, 8th, Andrew Whitehead, 9th, Michael Hall, and 10th, it is Stelling Chepelevsky.
Thank you very much, Adam. The reverse grid puts our race 3 winner, Robert Graham, 25th place. But for the final time tonight at Interlagos.
Green, green, green.
The green light is on. It's a terrible start from Matt Bunn. Pete Harrod gets away well, as does Baker, as does Rushworth. This is perfect for David Baker from the start. Oh, and sideways slightly is Harrod, but he makes the apex of the centre S's. So it's Harrod, Baker, Rushworth, Bunn.
Crash. Car around, it's number 4, it's Wojciech Savinovic.
Oh! Massive implications there could be here. What happened to Wojciech Savinovic?
He's got going. I don't think there's much. There's a bit of damage to the car, but he's in.
It's just a concertina effect, and then into Fenlo's Championship contender Daniel Kraft.
Oh, there's a big crash going on out there, though.
Is it an engine or direct car? It's Dan Blake. He's on his roof. He did start the race in 12th place, and he's in a place which I think Martin Brundle knows very well.
Oh. He may have got banged on the head there, I think. I don't know what happened to Blake. It looked like it could be a hardware failure there because he's just gone straight right.
And into the wall.
Technical
have a
problems.
recap of the start. Let's have a look, see what's happened, and then we'll switch over and see what happened to Blake. So here we go, just a little restart.
Baker's into the lead. Baker is into the lead now.
People surprised at what's going on. I've just gone a little bit too far back.
Sorry,
so
Alex.
Here comes the start again. So we'll see exactly what happened to Wojciech. There's the building once again. Like I say, just a little bit too far back, getting a bit clicky. But yeah, we can just see him in the background. Like I say, everybody's scrabbling for position.
Yeah,
you're right. Oh, he was okay, but someone just caught his quarter panel and it just speared him out. And he stays absolutely still, trying to not get anything. Let's switch up to see what happened to Dan Blake on this start, and then
his Wodge sort of hit the car in front, who sort of had to check up themselves. So difficult one that.
I think Dan must have some damage or something. Yeah, he just had some damage on his own, and he just spears to the right completely on his own. So yeah, that's an interesting one for sure.
Savinovic ends lap 1 of the race in 32nd place. He's carrying on.
Is he okay? Is he at speed? He is at... Oh, crash! Crash, Colin Cunniff and Nathan Davies. Big crash down the Retta Aposta for those two. Into the wall, and Adam, there you go.
Well, Colin Cunniff was disqualified in the previous race. I don't know what... I'm trying to just rewind back to see what happened to him. It was going through the curve of the Sol, and it's something we usually see on lap one of the race. Davis comes across really, and
not great.
Off goes Cunniff.
That's not really great at all, is it?
Oh, I hear
interesting one, Mr. Simpson, isn't it?
Yeah. Feel that'll be reviewed once again.
Now, here's an interesting conundrum for Jamie Rushforth, because you've got to feel that he's going to have to try. Will he be trying to beat David Baker here, or will he be thinking now, because it's virtually impossible? Surely he's thinking of the Teams Championship.
I would think he's just thinking of his Teams Championship, and of course, he's got a CQR car behind him as well, going for the championship. So,
and another one behind him.
Yeah, so he might just, you might even think of the AM team here. I don't know.
Oh,
I know,
Hackerson with
Paul
the dummy on
separate.
Harrod. This is brilliant from Hackerson. He's down the inside into the first corner. And brilliant driving from Ben Hackerson.
Harrod's not going to give in.
Equally brilliant from Harrod not to give it up, Adam.
He's going to try around the outside of Curva de Sol. However, the marbles have been building up around there so much over the 3 races today that I think it's just not going to work. Here comes Michael Hall to the inside into Interlagos. Look how many CQR cars we've got represented inside the top 10 here.
Sutton 2 places behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CQR cars in the top 8 places. That's a mob rule if you've ever seen one.
Pepelevsky at the inside of Hall. Oh, a bit of contact there, and Sutton might swallow that gap up.
Thought there were a lot of Apex cars in the Pro Series, Alex. You don't see nothing when you're dealing with CQR.
Yeah, Sutton trying to work his way through them as well. Let's have a look a bit further down. Steve Hefford having a good little battle with George Simmons. That's actually Jamie Fluke that he's side by side with as well. So, yeah, good battles going on all throughout the field.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
You were having a little yelp at Adam, yeah. I saw that. He missed his braking point into John Roberts, but no harm done.
Simmons up the inside of Balfour into Junkow. Rubbing a little bit there. The friction racing car going around the outside. Jamie Fluke's in there as well, along with Steve Hefford in his final BSR TC race.
Pete Harrod trying to get back past Hackerson. Hackerson defending really, really aggressively all the way to the pit wall. And both drivers going a little bit deep. This is going to make them vulnerable. Who's sat behind them? That's Stelian Czepeleski. And you know that he will go for a move, but he gets it all wrong coming through there. And he's under pressure from Sutton now.
Howard defending from Sutton down the Retroposta. Sutton up the inside, Czepeleski. Chepi closes the door just a little bit. But here comes the MG driver up the inside, forces his way through. And that is Sutton into 6th place.
Allows his buddy Michael Hall to come through as well. Good work by Sutton. These main team CQR cars, I don't think they're going to win this race because they can definitely fight through to the top 5. Maybe make it a CQR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Days of the Seat TDI, if that happens. Yes. The dominance back nearly 10 years ago. But yeah, Pete Harrod closing into Ben Hackerson. That battle's still continuing. They'll be joined by Ash Sutton this time around, so another factor to throw into this battle.
Already joined by him, and you know how good he is out of Yun Chao. Might be able to get a good move up the hill. Alex, you saw how wide Sutton was going into Yun Chao. Is that about as far as you can go, not being penalised?
Yeah, I think you can get away with it that far. I think actually you can go a little bit further than that too as well, but it becomes on the borderline of taking the mickey, and I think the stewards will start to look at it then.
And I actually think it's a bit slower as well if you go a long way out. Oh,
Michael Hall and Chepi having a good old battle.
Hall nearly lost his nose there. Now he's under pressure from Melro, and here comes Andreas Katz as well for Alpha Tech.
Sutton also passed Harrod into turn 3.
Daniel Kraft recovering after the first lap incident. Trying to get John Roberts, but not really. Not really able to make any headway at all there, Daniel Kraft, so good work from Roberts.
Sutton up another position, up into 4th place.
Vidovic up to 25th. In fact, that might be
24th now.
Better than that, sorry, yeah. And Smith behind him as well. How's the AM category looking? Well, it's once again Alex swinging right back to Matthew Bunt, 3rd place at the moment. He'll be loving this.
Yeah, every time it looks like Paul Smith's going to close in, Matt Bunn comes up with a race that just ekes it back out again.
Because that's what happens when you get sort of separated by one having a good race, one having a bad race. The reverse grid then just throws you all over the place, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and it's really difficult for us to follow exactly who's going to come out on top at the end of the race meeting, so I think in the end they're going to be about the same as where they started.
Yep, that sounds about right. Believe was it about 108 points, Adam, and now it's 91?
Yeah, it was just gone under 100 as Hall and Chepelewski battles going into the centre S on lap 6 of 10 now. Not too long to go here in the final race of the evening.
Very good. It's been a very nice meeting though, hasn't it? A lot of good racing, close racing, clean racing for the most part.
We just saw a battle going on between George Simmons and Jamie Fluke. The Apex Racing car just gained a position there. So that's Fluke up into 14th place. He's gained 16 positions since the start, the Winter Series champion.
Yeah, and he's pretty much going to be out of it as it stands.
Oh, jeez. That was Stelian Chepelewski nearly hitting Michael Hall and Diego Melro coming in late as well. Both drivers extremely late on the brakes.
Katz just flew up the inside of Melro, Alex, into Pinarino, and the side-by-side through next Larangina, and then Bico de Pato.
Forcing Melro out.
Off goes Melro.
Well, that was going to be a quarter panel then, but Gore's now on the scene.
Guaranteed to end up on that gigantic expanse of grass on the inside of Magulo if you get quarter panel there. Sometimes you can get lost in the infield section here in Interlagos. Dave Baker continues to lead. Jamie Rushworth just dropped back a little bit. I think these guys are happy, as is Matt Bunn at the moment. May not be happy shortly though, because Ash Sutton is closing in, but it's unlikely though that Sutton's going to attack these guys really, Adam, surely. They know what's good for them at least.
He'll give them a push. We know he'll do that, but
maybe literally, I don't know.
Yeah, don't rule that out. Yeah, but to have 4 of the team in the top 4 positions, that's going to be great for them.
It is amazing. I mean, Dave Baker, Jamie Rushworth for Race Hub with CQR, Matt Bunn, CQR Academy, Sutton main team, Harrod Academy, Hall main team. I mean, Alex, put that into context to have... I know it's not a race won or anything necessarily, but Matt Bunn's been up there quite often for the second half of the season. Harrod qualified in the top 5. Really is a great effort to put out these 2 excellent teams in this series.
Exactly that. I mean, fantastic job from them. I mean, this is why, in our press release, we had to step it up for next season. I mean, you can't just, you need to come and put a really good, strong team in if you're going to take these guys on, both in the amateur and the pro category. Really, really strong teams, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do. I'm still
just for the viewers at home who don't know, can you just explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously we signed for next season Wojciech Savidovic, Stelian Chepelewski, Andreas Katz, Richard Gore is back, Jamie Fluke's off to do the F1 World Championship. And,
hopefully.
Hopefully.
You've got to use that.
Yeah, and we're also looking at recruiting an AM team as well to try and take on these amateur guys as well. So yeah, if you're interested, get in touch.
Indeed, and you don't have to be driving in this series already to, all applications considered. So, Martin Kroenke, Greg Hutu, if you want to join in as an AM, you can do.
simracers.com for the information about the BSRTC, the standings, the calendar, and all the rest, and how you can get involved in this championship, which is heading down to the wire. After this, we've got one more race meeting to go at Daytona International Speedway next week. 4 races to decide the title.
Now, the battle for second place is heating up. It doesn't really have a lot of consequence unless something goes wrong here, but Matt Bunn all over Jamie Rushworth suddenly, Alex.
Yeah, Matt's really stepped up his games. There
goes Sutton, just as I said.
Yeah, I was about to say he's sort of team leader, I guess you would have to say there. Just has a quick look and just upsets the rhythm, and actually Matt Bunn decides that he's just going to let him go. But
Don't let
Matt's a
Smithy
driver who's
say that,
really
eh?
stepped up, hasn't he, in the last sort of week or so, or last sort of month, you know? Definitely, definitely a driver who won't be an AM next year.
Don't let Smithy say that about team leaders. He'll start getting paranoid. Even more paranoid. Poor Paul. Sorry, Paul. You can listen to Paul Smith's excellent commentary on the Club Series on Sunday nights on Apex Racing TV as well. There we go. That's rescued that one, Adam, I think.
Just about.
And some other guy as well called Adam is there as well.
There we go.
He's quite
restore
decent.
you even more.
He's quite decent as well, Alex, eh?
Oh,
Right.
good. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
We don't want to blow each other too much. Steve
2 laps to go.
Hefford and John Roberts having a good little fight, and Shellback all of a sudden jumping in on that one as well. So,
here comes Laidler, and this could, because although is it Laidler? No,
it's Shellback.
Laidler's crashed, Alex. Just as I was mentioning him, something's happened to Russell Laidler.
It was going through the curve. It was going through the curve of the stall. Dear me.
It wasn't. It was the centre S's.
Oh no! It was. Was that Wojciech Savidovic?
Oh,
That
it
could be a
was.
penalty for the
Wojciech
next race
Savidovic,
meeting.
Bosh. Oh no!
If he wasn't already racing under a cloud of a possible penalty for the race 1 incident, that might just add more
Oh, and then
smoke to the
McCarran.
fire.
Oh, it's a terrible rejoin by Laidler. Alex, oh dear. I don't know what to say.
Oh, side by side here, Katz and Melrose.
Into junk out, Melro up the inside, Katz, the Alpha Tech driver, the runner-up from last season with the number 2 on his Alpha Tech car, trying to hold it around the outside. When we get to the line, there'll be 1 lap to go.
One thing about Andreas Katz, since he's come back to the championship, he has shown that that spirit that he's known for. But of course, here comes Richard Gore as well. He's looking for a way through. Is he going to go on the inside, the last lap of the race? He's not going to have a look this time. Final lap here at Interlagos. 40 punishing laps, 4 grueling races tonight. And I tell you what, we've only probably had a total, Alex, I'd say of about 15 retirements in 4 races, which is very, very good, really.
4 very, very strong races for everyone out there as well. This battle's going on. Who's that side by side? Lee Berridge for 20th with John Roberts as well.
We saw Sutton going by Matt Bunn, didn't we?
We did, indeed.
Yeah. I'll just point out Steve Hefford, possibly his final lap in this series for at least for a while. He's had a very good race. Started 26th up to 17th place. Good work from Sim Racer magazine driver. But it's been good work all the way through, really, for the man who's going to enter Yun Xiao for the final time here. And what an important win this is going to be, with Wojciech Savidovic all the way down in the standings here. This man, David Baker, raced up with CQR, was 171 points behind, but this will be a big chunk collected here. And he will take the fight to Savidovic at Daytona, because David Baker wins here at Interlagos in the final race of the evening. And boy, you'll be happy with that. CQR 1, 2, 3 with Race Hub. Matt Bunn 4th for the Academy. Then it's Ben Axon in 5th.
Giving Steve a bit of love here as he comes across the line. He's got a battle on his hands for a very, very last time across the start-finish line. Holds on to that 17th place.
Just
by 100th.
Over Michael Schellbach. Well, thanks for all the great racing, Steve. And hopefully we see you again, at least maybe on a temporary basis, part-time basis next season. So Steve Efford there, finishing his BSRTC career. He's been thinking about finishing his career, and there he goes. But it was a peerless display, really, by CQR, Adam. They're definitely not finished, because they take that into Daytona, you know, with fantastic momentum. And then 1, 2, 3.
2 wins for David Baker as well in this race meeting. Could have been 3 if it wasn't for that contact with Savidovic in race 1. But you can say it's not been a good race meeting for Savidovic. Had issues in race 1, finished 1 lap down in the end in the pit lane. Took a 2nd place in race 2. finished in the midfield in race 3 and then in race 4. Contact in the first corner and dropped down the order and had that crash with Rusty later with a few laps to go in race 4.
I will point out
yeah.
exactly, Alex, what we talked about last week is that it definitely, you know, it could have been a hell of a lot worse for Wodge in this meeting because could have DNF'd potentially 3 times there.
Yeah, exactly.
And didn't, and not in any of them.
But I think if you just keep on scoring points, that's a big, big thing. You know, those points are going to be massive. So, yes, David's going to have caught up there, but he's still got a pretty healthy margin. And you could see, I tell you what, you could start to see a couple of times that Wodge was driving as if, you know, he knows he's got the championship to lose as well. He was just sort of getting out of some risky situations where normally he would sort of pinch down and try and get that position no matter what. But yeah, the slight mindset change there now, so I think the pressure really is on him as well.
All right, well, Adam, if you could take us through the final results sheet of the evening, please.
So David Baker takes the win then in the final race of the season. We've still got 4 more to go. Final race of the day. Jamie Rushworth finishes in 2nd place with Ash Sutton in 3rd. A 1-2-3 for racer with CQR. Matt Bunn, a CQR Academy driver, in 4th place with Ben Hackerson in 5th. 6th for the pole sitter Pete Harrows with Michael Hall in 7th. 8th, Stelian Chepelevsky. 9th, Andreas Katz and Diogo Mello rounding out the top 10. Richard Gore finishes in 11th with Jamie Fluke 12th from 30th on the grid. 13th for Andrew Whitehead. George Simmons in 14th. Dan Craft 15th in the championship. Hasn't been the best race meeting for him. And he may be some way behind going into Daytona. Ross Balfour finishes in 16th with Steve Hefford bowing out of the BSRTC in 17th. Michael Schellbach 18th. John Roberts 19th. And Lee Berridge in 20th. 21st for Craig Evans. 22nd Alex Walensky. Paul Smith started 23rd. Finished 23rd. Wojciech Swiderowicz, 24th place. 25th, Rob Graham. 26th, Mark Woodhouse. Max Wright in 27th. 28th for Roy Verke. 29th, Michael Blake. And 30th, 1 lap down, Rusty Laidler. Nick McCarron, 2 laps down. Stuart Atkinson, 3 laps down. Kip Stevens, 7 laps down. Colin Cunniff, 8 laps down. And Nathan Davis and Dan Blake out on the opening few laps of the race.
Not a good meeting for Nathan Davis. So, Alex, you're the man who knows these things, you know, the final round of the season, Daytona. Can you get your crystal ball out and just see what do you think's going to happen next week? Do you see anyone toppling Wojciech Swiderowicz?
It's going to be tough. I mean, that the long oval section, you know, we see crazy crashes in the ovals, and it's no different there. It's a great circuit to end at. You know, anything and everything can happen. Just like here, the racing is going to be fantastic. Lots of 2 wide for almost most of the race, and huge packs as well. So, watch it to lose, isn't it? At the end of the day, just 4 finishes and he's champion. That's the thing, isn't it? So, at least he's got that sort of advantage going in there. Unlike last season, where it was, it come down to what they were doing on the racetrack. Wodge really just got to get out there and just do his thing, and he could bring home the title. Same with Matt Bunn as well. You know, it's no different in that AM category. Points are similar. Let's not forget them. If he does his thing, races like he's done the last month, and he'll be in a similar position as much as that will pain his teammate Paul Smith, who started this showdown so successfully at Suzuka, and then it all went pear-shaped in the sort of like the 2nd and 3rd race. But without those 2 DNS, Paul could well have been in the lead in this championship as well. So not over with, though. That lady's not singing yet.
Tell you what, though, Adam, she's warming up her vocal cords, and in the teams championship, that last race may have just been a hammer blow to Sim Racer.
Yeah, because if you look at the top 10, you've got the top 3, all racer with CQR, and did we have any sim racer
Baker.
In there?
Who are the scoring drivers? Do we know who the scoring drivers are this week?
The racer?
Would it be the top 3?
I think it would be Baker, Rushworth, and I think Michael Hall. Is he a full-time? Because he's a full-time driver, of course.
Oh right, yeah. So Hall's had a decent-ish meeting, hasn't he? I think so.
Yeah, and then the nearest sim racer car will probably be, looking down the order, actually I think it is Steve Hefford, and he finished in 17th place, so not a good day for sim racer. They were 258 points behind going into this fourth and final race of the evening. With that 1-2 and Michael Hall finishing inside the top 10, once these points get updated, it'll be very interesting to see the gap between Race Hub and Sim Racer going into the final race meeting of the season.
It's going to be quite a large one, I think, for them to overcome. But again, anything can happen in the BSRTC. And to quote Murray Walker, it usually does. And you know what? I think that's quite a good time to end it. We are quite late tonight, so apologies to anybody who's ready for an interview. We've run out of time, I believe. So, but thank you, Alex and Adam, once again for joining me here, because it's been just cracking meeting at Interlagos, and we now head to the final. We head to Daytona, the final 4 races, to see who's going to be crowned the 2016 iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Champion. Who's going to take that share of the $10,000 prize fund? We will see. So from all of us here at Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live, see you next week, where it all ends. See you then.